Guys, it's Monday.
Hello! Monday! It is Monday, yeah. It's going to be quite a straightforward week, I think. So for me, it's primarily going to be working on Pixels, getting the next XL DLC done, which is comic, and finishing off the Zoo Voxels DLC.
Yes, I'll be QAing the voxels for Jack to look at that, and then Rob's been spending a lot of time looking at the Xbox for hexceed stuff, because we've finally heard back from Nintendo, Microsoft for that, so that'll be all week.
Nailed it. Flawless, guys. Flawless.
I've just gone ahead and finished up the QA for the Zoo DLC for colouring voxels. It was a bit quicker than some of the previous ones, but that was kind of as intended. We wanted this world to be a bit smaller, just because they've been creeping up in scale. But yeah, it plays quite well. There's a couple of pushbacks, all minor stuff, like the elephant had bone in the middle of his trunk, which you shouldn't do. You can see here these trees here as well. Those are see-through, so those need to be, the materials on those need to be readdressed. But yeah, it's all minor stuff. The only big thing I sort of requested was to add something under the water here. Because you can't really see from these angles, but you have viewing platforms down here. They've got little windows, people are looking under the water, but there's nothing in the water. So I've suggested adding something for that. I think Jack's already done that, so we wait for the next build. But yeah, pretty good. Just need to rescale the size as well to make a better fit. But yeah, not almost ready for release at the end of the week.
Yeah, so you can see that I am finally working on Xbox Hexceed. We've been trying to get this working for quite a while. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the background that I can't really show you. But yeah, we've got the game running. You see that error spam has stopped, so that there was quite a few issues, a lot of issues with like the ID and stuff that we needed to get from Microsoft themselves to get it sorted. And yeah, things seem to be running pretty much as expected. There were a few things I had to sort of fix, a few bugs. There's sort of like on Unity there's like platforms specific code compilation. So on like things like Switch, different code blocks will run, and then there were a few blocks that I sort of had to enable to get Hexceed working. But yeah, I have got it working. You can see there are a couple of issues though still, so I just completed a level there and it hasn't saved the progress. That's because the save file system is just not working. There isn't a save file system at the moment, but all of the controls and things like that are working, and I think I've just got it working so it automatically signs in to your Xbox account. So yeah, there's a lot of things that we have to sort of work out, but yeah, I'll take you through it as I work through them, I guess.
Okay, so I'm currently working on the Zoo DLC again this week, and it's essentially just going through and making all these fixes that Lee's kindly QA'd for me. Not many left to do. I said the fixes have been quite minor and quite easy to do. Some of them have been a bit more beefier, like such as these Arctic ones, like the polar bear, for example, as well as some little fixes. Lee wanted me to add some penguins swimming in the water there, just so there's actually something to view when you're actually underground. So you can see here now, if we go down here, you can see some penguins swimming under this little glacier here. So yeah, most of the fixes have been quite small, but that was definitely one of the bigger ones. However, for now, I've got a bit of a fix coming up that I think is going to be a bit more challenging than I originally thought. So I was just showing Rob here that I'm not sure if the edit is working completely correctly. So if I go over to the... oh, I've lost the world. Where is it? Go over the escape one. Lee put a few notes in here, quite small things, such as... where are they here? There's a few holes in the snow and in the water. If we go back over to Unity here, which I keep losing, there it is. So other than the trees being see-through, there's a few little holes here in the water, which the holes, the detect holes isn't picking up. So if we go down, you can see there's no holes. And apparently also the edit isn't supposed to look like this. So I think that's something that Rob's probably going to have to fix at one point. However, considering it's the last fix, I don't really mind. I'm going to have to go back into Voxel and sort of just add these holes in manually and then re-import the whole world and apply all the shaders and things like that again. So it's going to be a bit of a beefier fix, but this is the last one, so it's not too bad.
Here I'm just working on the vlog. As you can see, sort of this part of the footage is Rob talking about the security system. So I thought I'd try again and actually get logging in on the PC to the cameras, and I think I've got it working. So managed to find you see here this sort of footage of in the office on the 7th on the 2024, which is the same time as the recording on the actual vlog I'm working on at the minute. And I think I'm getting it downloaded. You can see over here we've got a progress bar, 58% there. And the reason I'm trying this one as a test one is because it's literally the footage between where Rob's recording. You see him pick up the phone there, and then he goes off and records over in this corner. So try and download that. I do need to work out where it's going. I'm trying to do a little search for the security system in the C drive, but I'm not sure where it's downloading to. There's multiple different folders. So yeah, getting this downloaded, hopefully, find out where it is, and then if it's all worked out, you'll have seen already in last week's vlog that the footage is in there. If not, yeah, we'll see what we can do with this. A bit more update on the camera stuff. So yeah, I'm still in here. That's live footage. That's me there in the top right. Just working on how to actually download the footage to be used. So if we go over to the files here, I've managed to do it, thankfully. Got this now in a .avi format, which means I can actually open it in a media player. This is the footage I was talking about before where Rob's recording. He does a little trip over here. So I'm going to be using this in the vlog. Here we go. So that should be a good little bit of B-roll. But as you see, there's two files here with the same name, just different file extensions. And that's just the way the system seems to work, with it being a CCTV CCTV software. If you're familiar, this is probably old news to you, but we're learning this as we go. So yeah, when you download any footage, which I was showing before over here, where is it? In the playback setting, when you download it, it downloads it initially as this H265X file, which bit of Googling I think is a software extension that's unique to CCTV footage. And then I was trying to work out how to actually use this bit of footage, and a bit more digging. There's a backup section, and you can use this recording backup to convert it into an AVI. This is built into the system. So yeah, now we've got a bit of media that we can actually use. I haven't checked if that can upload directly into Premiere Pro, so I guess we can check that now. If I do the B-roll, see if this works. If this doesn't work, converting to AVI to MP4 should be straightforward. Let's see. Yeah, okay, we can't use AVI, that's fine, but converting that to MP4, it's an additional step, but it should be straightforward for using it in the vlog. But yeah, thankfully managed to work it out. Took a bit longer, but it's all because of learning new stuff, yeah. So exciting update. Something I was waiting for all week, or last week even. Did we have it in? It's even got the word toasted on the front. And yeah, just gonna be able to actually chuck stuff away now.
Okay, so I've just got finished doing all the fixes for the next DLC for Voxels, which is the Zoo DLC, and this is pretty much one of the biggest fixes I've had to do over the course of the DLC, which is sort of giving the meerkats a sort of distinctive head, as they looked a bit boring just being three blocks high. So I think it was what they had the idea of sort of we could make a new shader that sort of manipulates the geometry to make it look a bit more like a sort of pyramid-esque shape, so it's a bit more like a head. And yeah, this was a beefier fix than I thought it was. I definitely had to go back and forth a lot between Rob to try and get this working, as my knowledge of shaders aren't the highest. But from what I can understand, I don't understand all of this, but I can understand how essentially each group of nodes here is sort of affecting each vertex that can sort of manipulate the position to sort of squish the cube in each axis. So it's looking pretty good, and it seems to work. So if we boot up a level here with the meerkats in them, so we'll do the warthog one. That's the meerkat on top there. There we go. So cool. We've got the little meerkat here. If we jump into the shader, which I haven't got open as typical, meerkat head. There we go. You can see we've got lots of different controls now, so I'm actually move. Oh, what's it moving it? Is that one? I've got two. Doesn't matter. There we go. So you can see we can manipulate each side of the head. I need to remember what these were because I'm going to forget. But you can see we can now manipulate shapes a bit more elegantly. So hopefully that'll leave some pretty cool new designs in the future DLCs.
So I spent the day doing the rest of the QA for the Colouring Voxels DLC. There's some other things to fix, such as getting the background colour changed and the sizing of the level, which Rob done. It's all looking really good now. All the levels are now being fully QA'd and all in working order. And that's the DLC ready to go. So we also have the achievements as well. So I've gone ahead and made all the achievement icons. And they're all uploaded, all localized and working correctly as well. So yeah, that's the DLC ready to go. All that'll be left to do will be the announcements come Friday. And yeah, hope you enjoy this one.
All right, so it's taken a couple of days of work, but I finally managed to get it to save and load. That's why we're able to see that this level, the tutorial level, has been completed. In theory, I should just be able to play another one. Oh, it's erroring out. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, progress is progress anyway, isn't it? One thing I'm having a little bit of trouble with is that just because the Xbox controls are, it's basically sending it over, sending the Xbox input in across the network. It's a little bit laggy, so it's a little bit of an issue, but it should be okay. Does it still work? Hey, yeah, there we go. So now you can see that level's complete. I'll have a look and see what that error is, but yeah, really, really good progress. It also means that we've sorted out signing in to an Xbox account, and saving and loading all works across cross-save as well. So in theory, if you had a PC version of the game on the Xbox Store, not on Steam, then it should also sync across there as well. And if you've got is it something Ally X the handheld as well, it should cross sync across there. Good stuff.
Stop right there, criminal scum! Nobody breaks the law on my watch! I'm confiscating your stolen goods. Now pay your fine, or it's off to jail.
Okay, so I've sort of been just trucking my way through the Comic XL DLC. It's been a lot of fun. I'm sort of churning through them quite quickly, similar to the last Comic DLC, just because there's not really much referencing that I need to do, really. So if I have like a sketch of how I want the panel to look, it typically goes quite quick, and also the style's going to be consistent throughout each level, so there's not too much style referencing either. But I'm really happy with the sort of the style that we've got so far. However, there's a few inconsistencies that I definitely go back and check on. I did notice that when I was going down sort of the levels, there's a few things that I've missed. So you can see here on the main bear character here, the cream one, he's got eyebrows in this image, but I think on this one he doesn't. And I think on the other one he doesn't either. Yeah, this one as well. So there's a few little things that I've spotted that I need to go back and check up. That's fine. When we're going through the quality check phase, I'll just go through and tweak everything up. This image I'm not so keen on. I don't like these sort of like, I've tried to go for an anime look, but I think these sort of pink blemishes sort of ruin it. So I may get rid of those and things like that. But yeah, I'm just going to keep trucking on, trying to keep that comic aesthetic as strong as I possibly can, especially in this one kind of here when you've got sort of like the typical Batman-esque sort of, smack effects thing here for this sort of ringing the what's it called, the store bell. But yeah, I think hopefully I'll be hitting about 18 levels to 20 this week, and yeah, that's pretty good progress. So I'm going to crack on and just try to keep in mind that I need to keep the eyebrows on this bear.
Alright, so I have basically loaded up the old achievement making script for Hexceed. So we had a bunch of these, we basically had a script that I'm sure you can check like episode like 40 of the devlog or something like that when we made these. But we have these small images that we were using for the Steam achievement. We need to make bigger ones now. Jack was sort of like on the whiteboard trying to explain where they actually go, and you can actually set them as like the background to your like Xbox and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. A bunch of features that I didn't really know. And yeah, I managed to get the script working, and I spent a lot of time making this sort of like this outline, things like that. It's just taken from the actual logo for Hexceed, and you can change the background color of the actual tiles and things like that. And yeah, so it should work. So you press play, and then it gives you a bunch of pop-ups telling you to generate. Like, well, it's basically asking for the save files, and then yeah, it goes through all of the things and all of the various achievements and generates the files for us, which is really cool. So yeah, fingers crossed that file should just speed things up now that it's all sorted.
So a bit of catch up from yesterday. I was working from home, but I managed to get a couple more levels done for Wooloop. This one here was particularly larger than I expected, but yeah, not too many large ones in this pack. Keeping the size hopefully a bit varied, so yeah, that's good. As well as that, I've just gone ahead today and done the announcement post for the Zoo DLC that's coming out tonight. You can see they've got a nice GIF for the baby hippos, and yeah, that's all scheduled for 8 PM. And then finally, we switch over to the streaming setup, because I'll be streaming today because Jack is off. Be setting up this, but had a bit of fun, got a bit distracted. If we press this button here, set up the camera to be on the actual, there's Rob having his lunch, sorry Rob. But yeah, set up the camera so we can switch between that. I've tried to set my macro, I couldn't work it out, so streaming in about an hour, so thought I'd give up and just use a manual button. I don't know why that didn't work the first time. Well, hold on a second. Yeah, with Jack not being in today to do the stream, I took over the streaming. We weren't sure what I was going to actually do because, showing level creation of Wooloop isn't interesting for a 2-hour stream, stuff like
But we're obviously working on this editor in his spare time. It's sort of for the Bit Tales, sort of like choose your own adventure game that we've been sort of like had in the back end for such a long time. It's not an actual active project for Toast Labs at the minute, but it's just something that we're like playing with the idea for the future. And yeah, it's a lot of blueprints you can see here. If you want more details, you can the VOD linked here. Hopefully, it might be a little bit later, but yeah, it's just sort of a blueprint of going through the system and how the storybook works. So you start the story, you're given descriptions, you learn, you meet people, you can. It looks complex, but it's pretty straightforward once you get the hang of it. I'm just playing with the system, just seeing what is missing, because as you can see, it's not the most intuitive sort of layout for a lot of stuff. Like for example, this section here of all these knowledge tags. It's just getting longer and longer as you add more things to the game. And yeah, this can be neatened up, sectioned into characters or locations or by name and summary, etc. So bits of feedback like that. And just the odd issue here and there, like the ability to use these nodes to go back, takes you back to the previous branch. But in case if you want to go back from a branch to another branch, that option isn't there. You've got to do it manually. So just minor little things. I made a long list of notes here through the stream that Rob can have a look at and maybe implement. Some of them are suggestions, some of them are things that seem broken. But yeah, again, this is just something that's in the back end. It's not something that we are focusing on actively developing, but it's just something interesting. And again, if you want to have a full view on that, make sure you check out the VOD that's uploaded on our channel here as well. Rob,
Hello.
it's Friday.
Yeah. Woo. Barbecue tomorrow. But yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to check out all of the DLC that we've got coming up. We have Colouring Voxels, which is the Zoo DLC. That's coming out tonight for you, so it'll already be out for you if you're watching. We've got Colouring Pixels Comic XL2, no, Comic 2 XL. So double-sized book, and it's looking really good. People really like the comic one, so should be good. Jack does a good job. And yeah, you've been working on Willoop, haven't you? The Seasons DLC.
That's right, yeah.
Make sure to check that out as well. Yeah, thanks for watching.